Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching, and with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2023. Today, I want to talk to you about some tactics in this video. And where I got a lot of the ideas for these tactics is from a book we have available on the website called 4231 Attacking from our formation series by Luca Bertolini. Definitely check this one out. Goes over basic principles on the ball, possession, key attacking principles, movements, variations, runs on the ball, history, lineups, applications. And I think the one that's really important, I think the one thing that gets lost is we have these brilliant, grandiose concepts in our head that we think are, amazing. And what it really comes down to for players is, well, what do you want me to do in this concept? So really focusing on players' roles and responsibilities. And on page 52 here, I think it's a really important part. I think a lot of coaches are going to come in. They're like, I know what 4-2-3-1 is. I know what the positions are. Maybe you know what the numbers are. But at the end of the day, do you know exactly what each player should be doing in correlation to their teammates? So I think that's a really great addition in the book. We'll have that available in the comment section, so you can check that out. And I'd love to hear in the comments as well some of the things that you do maybe differently. How do you utilize the different roles that players have? I'm going to go over kind of just roles that I got out of the book, but also kind of the way I generally tend to run my 4-2-3-1. And you let me know what you think and how you do things a little differently. So I'm going to go through each kind of group position, not every single position. Say we're not going to do the 11 and the 7. We'll do the 11 and 7 combined, but kind of how I envision them running and some things that I do maybe in practice that kind of facilitate that. So we can kind of do the same thing with our 6s here and our 4 and our 5. And the reason being is I like the concept because we have 4 backs. If we're getting jammed in the middle and they're sending 10 guys, right up the gut, and there's not really that much on the wings. Yeah, we want these guys to pinch tight, stay strong and be the defensive stalwarts we want them to be. But if we have the availability and they're maybe dropping off, maybe they're playing in the single striker, I love for a center back to get forward. And that's the same concept I have here with my 6, where I like one of them to get back forward and one to slide in and become a more defensive player. So what we really work on is defensive slides. This player's on the ball. The 6 is able to go forward. He comes the 8 or the 10, whatever it may be. This 6 needs to recognize that slide and become the defensive cover for them, but also what I like to call the outlet for them. So that if the ball is here, they have that outlet. They can go back and cover for them. Or if they lose it, there's the cover person here. And that's the same thing, say, if center back gets forward. Okay, center back gets forward. Other center back gets more central. We really talk about getting these two outside backs pinched tight if that does happen. I would suggest maybe some kind of word that you utilize from practice. Hey, fire, fire. And then when you yell fire, the outside backs know they need to pinch in tight because there's a fire and they need to get home. Okay, so they get home and a center back can go forward. And we're still compact. We still have a great defensive line here, but we're allowing this player to get into an attack position. And the same thing for the 6s. So the way I kind of realized that in practice is, you can utilize a lot of 2v1s, pattern play here. I like to do patterns that lead to a game. So I would say let's see, this guy goes forward. Okay. And maybe put a yellow player in here. We're boxing this off, but in this position, put him here. He misplaces this pass. He dribbles up the press. He gets beat. All right. This guy covers. And can this guy get back into a defensive position? So it's a pattern in that, okay, you pass here, you pass here, you pass here. But then from that situation, we're giving them the opportunity to play it out live and kind of make the corrections needed. So that's how I would kind of train these two positions, the center backs and the 6s, to work in that tandem pivot role where one gets to go forward and one instantly slides and covers for them. Outside backs, I really like to see them getting forward in the 4-2-3-1 because, again, if one of these guys gets forward, we can have these 3 slide and still play a 3 back and have great defensive cover for our team going forward. I like again, another one where it's just patterns. Okay. Maybe it's something where you're just getting some early crosses off, maybe a passing pattern, a shooting game where you play the ball down the line, guy gets the ball, takes touch inward towards the near post, plays the ball back, something along those lines. Whatever your team, the way you're trying to score from this. Are you trying to get crosses to the back post? Are you trying to get balls driven to the near post? Are you trying to get guys to the end line and cover it? Whatever it is, repeat that as kind of the technical aspect of the game. Get them involved there. But with the basic concept of this winger is here, they're wide. Okay, but let's say the ball's here. Let's put the ball here, right? We want this guy cutting in And as that happens, the defense is going to collapse on him. And that's going to leave this area available for our outside back to make a run in. Okay, it leaves a gap for our outside back, who then can run in. Ball is played here. And again, you want this to be a lefty that crosses to the back post? Do you want it to be someone that drives to the near post? Do you want him to get to the end line here and play this ball back? That's up to you. But creating those patterns and giving the players the confidence to be able to go and telling them, hey, listen, if you go and you're out here, the winger's more central. They're cover for you because they'll be behind you. One of the sixes will slide there to cover for you, and we'll be in a good defensive position. The only way we're really going to get hurt here is if possibly they play a ball into this area, or they're going to be able to drive in this area if we get beat. But we got 1, 2, 3 cover here, and if the ball is played across the entire area, there's going to be time to cover for that as well. So really giving them the confidence and the conceptual understanding of, hey, you can get forward as an outside back, and just any kind of session you have available where it's you're teaching that and getting them to do generally what you're looking for. Do you want them to be that crosser? Do you want them to be low driven? Do you want them to cut and try to shoot? And playing to the strengths of your players individually for that. Okay, let's bring them back in here. The midfield triangle in general, I like this in game where I've got my midfield diamond here, or my midfield triangle here. I've got my 10 and I got my 2 6s, or my 8 and my 2 6s, depending how you want to play this more forward attacking player. I really tell the players in these positions that I want them rotating. I want them rotating attacking wise. I want them, if a 6 gets forward, this guy can cover for them. All right, and we can invert the triangle here. He goes forward, he goes forward. These two can play off each other. This one can be an outlet. This one can, if they do play out wide, he can be the pivot to switch it. So the ball goes here, pivot, and we switch it out here. But I like to call this one flipping the triangle. And if we want to get more attacking, or I like this tactic late in the game, you're down, you need one, you're tied, and you're trying to change what's going on. I like this concept to kind of flip the script and becomes like a 4-1-4-1. But you have that availability. You don't have to start that way, but you definitely can use it as an option. Or you can be like, hey, offensively, I want my 6 no matter what. You're getting forward, you're pressing, you're being a destroyer. And then you've always had the 1-6 covering there. And so we'll say, like, early on, flip the triangle, get a guy forward, and let's go at them. From here, the last position group is your 9, who's a solo striker. And I think, again, this is your preference for what you want out of your system. But generally, I say if we're going to play one single striker up top, I like him to have pace. Okay, I like a big, strong striker with some pace. I think you can play with a crafty, smaller striker. You can play with a guy that's just a pure target man. But I know we have a player on one of my teams where the kid just big and strong can hold up the ball, and it gives us a lot of different options. If he can be that target player with a little bit of breakaway pace. Now, I'm not saying he has to be the fastest player on the field, but he has to be a threat that he can run across the lines and break through, because there is going to be so much in the midfield. There is going to be so much possession going on here. We want the guy to be able to kind of run around and give us that threat at least. But I do like him having the option of, if we've got this ball here at the target man, we have runs from the wide players. We have a 10 to run off of. We have a second 6 to run off of. We have a 6 to cover us. We can hold up play as these guys get forward, and the outside back can fill the space. So if he can hold up play, it gives us a pretty 360 degree view of the field in which we can go and play balls wide, play balls back, play balls through. And that's really kind of hinges on him being able to control and hold up play in that position. So in that, I would teach, I would have specific drills in which you have him playing as a target role. Maybe you have him playing as the neutral, generally in keep way or whatever drill you're doing, and that he's then holding up the play, and maybe he has 2 touches, or maybe he has to freeze when he receives it. He can't dribble. He can only hold the ball for as long as he needs to until he gets the ball off, something along those lines. But I would just kind of use that as a way of training him, because you can play with that target man mentality. The minute they start jumping on it, that kid, if he's got some pace, can turn and just go at somebody and go to goal from there. So again, this is my 4-2-3-1. Roles and responsibilities for attacking players in the 4-2-3-1. And I got a lot of the ideas from the book 4-2-3-1 Attacking ebook from our tactical series. So you can definitely check that out. Again, try to focus more here less on just the overall general tactics, but the individual roles of the players within this, which I think is, again, something that kind of gets lost in translation for a lot of players. We have these grandiose ideas and these beautiful concepts, but it doesn't really matter if they don't understand it. So again, and then in the comment section, I'd love to hear, what are the different ways you utilize these roles? This is the way I like to do it, but I'm sure some of you have some different concepts and different ways that you like to go about, playing your outside backs per se, or do you flip the sixes, or how do you rotate that? Do you rotate all three of those players and just have them constantly changing to give different looks to the defense? Let me know in the comment section. I'd be really excited to hear about that. So once again, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching, and I help Academy Sports Coach 2023 in the book 4231 Attacking. Hope this tactics find you well.